Extremely happy to be with you in this virtual room that connects people from different parts of the world with one common target and one common greater idea that we all believe in, and that is the sustainability imperative. I'm very happy to be here with you and humbled to be invited as a keynote speaker. I think that I need not just to share, but I need to transfer all the weight of this title of a keynote speech with all the students and all the participants in this seminar that in a bit will showcase their projects and will participate in an active discussion. Why is that? Because I think that we no longer need keynote speeches. We no longer need people to tell us what is great, what should be done, what should not be done. It's time we move to the next stage where we see things being done, and not just being done, but being done by those that are in the very ground where change, transformation, participation is needed. And that is local communities. So I'm very happy once again to support the actions and the activities of Icare International, and especially Caroline. Caroline, you've been a great inspiration and a great force behind all the activities and all the projects we have been working on together. So instead of delivering a keynote speech, what I would really like to deliver to this room is some key messages, keeping in mind two things. The one is the ongoing COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, and the other is the 2030 horizon that is set for the achievement of the 17 SDGs and the United Nations Agenda to 2030. Starting from what is happening these days and the discussions and the participation of the parties in yet one other large round of discussions and agreements on what should be done to reverse climate change, and especially that is related to human behavior. It seems that we all understand the issue, we all understand that there is need for action, but we cannot reach to an agreement on how these actions should be implemented, and most importantly, what should be the support that we should offer to each other. And what I mean by each other is support from developed countries to developing countries, those that are in the unfortunate position to see and experience firsthand the results of climate change, and in a way that leaves them very, very exposed, because the technological knowledge is not there, the know-how is not there, the skills in the labor force that can promote the wide deployment of alternative technologies that can support in climate change action and mitigation and adaptation are not there. So what I would like to bring to the table for discussion is the need to support developing nations and developing parts of the world, especially Sub-Saharan Africa, that comes with this very unique positioning. First, it's very close to the raw materials and to what nature provides us in a very free way that is necessary for this energy transition. So whether it's minerals, whether it's metals, whether it's access to energy inputs that are important to get access to electricity and to be able to support other economic activities. So one is proximity to natural resources, and second is the necessity to get things right in the African continent. By this, I mean that we should not allow nations that are in the first steps of development to repeat the mistakes that have been done elsewhere. And this should not come as a dictation. It should not be a book with rules and do's and don'ts. It should come very, very naturally. We should freely share the experience that we have in the developed part of the world with what we have done right and what we have done wrong in the last decades. And unfortunately, there are many maldoings, especially when it comes to the exploitation and management of natural resources, of the environment, of diversity, biodiversity, and the ecosystem. In doing so, we need to respect the need of these countries and the need of these regions to develop their own pathway, a pathway that is credible, that is sustainable, that is generally accepted by the local communities. And that is my next point that links climate change action to sustainable development targets, the importance and the role of local communities. Local communities are those that in the end of the day will be most impacted by any kind of policy taken, of decisions taken, and also by the effects of climate change. And in the end of the day, local communities should be the ones that appreciate, accept, and understand the need for action. Because for the addressing of the global challenge, whether it's sustainability transition or climate change action, we need to act and we need to agree at a local level. So the importance of local communities is huge in this endeavor that the global community has engaged in. So how do we engage local communities? Well, first of all, we need to provide them with the tools and the knowledge and the means to develop their own tailored solutions and tailored approaches to sustainability transition and climate change action. And here we can think of many different alternatives and approaches. What what Icare Sustainably is doing is exactly supporting these, the ability to develop at the local level know-how, inspiration, groups, communities that can identify local community specific problems and can come up with solutions that are tailored. And in doing so, they can benefit from indigenous and local communities. Knowledge can benefit from traditions, can benefit from intangible assets, informal institutions that often play part and a significant part in the developments that take place at the local level. And if we want to link this not just to one SDG, so not just to climate change, or for instance, more sustainable practices, we can find quite a few extensions on combining action at the local level with meeting global sustainability transition targets. In a recent research that we completed, and it has been published in Environmental Science and Research, we do exactly this. We connect and we basically map the requirements and at the same time the key characteristics that can make local community a driving force for sustainability transition. And what if I can refer very shortly and very briefly to these aspects, these relate to adequate skills, relate to the ability to exchange information and know-how, ability to have access to funding that is tailored to the needs of the local community. So we're no longer talking about big funding or big banks or lots of private capital being mobilized for investment. We're talking about very innovative and at the same time simple approaches that connect the public and the private sector, make use of the local knowledge and make use of the potential to exploit not only in sustainability transition terms, but also in economic, in social and environmental terms, small projects like the ones that you will hear about in a bit. So to keep this keynote speech very, very short and to give the floor to the ones that really deserve it today, and that is the practitioners and the groups that have developed the case studies, I would like to conclude this intervention with two key messages. First, support in any way you can local communities in the developing part of the world to fully exploit the know-how and their connections with developments on the ground and how this can be translated and transmitted to the global community so as to come up with tailored solutions. And the second key message is give room for local participants while supporting skills upgrade, technology transfer, and know-how and collaboration between the different stakeholders and the different parts of the world. And this can support not only the achievement of specific SDGs like it's SDG 5 or SDG 13, but also an SDG that seems to be very, very important to meet this sustainability transition. And that is SDG number 17, that looks for international collaboration, cooperation, and addressing of common challenges in a way that is accepted, understood, and appreciated by all parties in the room. Thank you very much once again for having me with you. It is my honor to support your actions, and I will be watching and monitoring and following very closely and with great respect whatever Icare and the people engaged in this project are delivering and will be delivering in the months and years to follow. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, such a wonderful things you were actually share with us, and which is really a remarkable. You were actually focusing the most impactful thing, that how can we link the climate change action with the local community. Mainly, we are focusing the link with the local community, local resources to impactful action. I have a small question to you. Did you find any opportunities in spite of having lot of difficulties in the field work? Did you find any opportunity that the African nation can have to mitigate the ultimate action? Did you
Yes.
find any kinds of opportunities?
Yeah. Those opportunities are related to access to natural resources, to an untapped labor force potential, to
Right.
a very young and dynamic segment of the population, and to the fact that these countries and this region are at the very beginning of the development curve. So it is a great opportunity to make things right this time and not to develop at the expense of the environment and social sustainability.
Wow, correctly articulated. Thank you so much. And we are really, really, really delighted to have your words. I think the ultimate action that our one of the I mean and our speaker shared, that the things already he has been observed and through the research, through the fieldwork. I think if we are really able to interlink our social community with the very small approach that you shared, I think anything can be happen. Otherwise, we are thinking about, oh no, this fund for this action, for this mitigate this project. I see I should have the huge amount. I should have the huge uh, manpower. I should have huge authorization from the different sources. So if the sources, if the approach is very simple, if the local community are also engaged with that, I think anything can be happen, right? Thank you, Stella, and we are really glad to have you once again. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you and great of success to all your projects and endeavors. Thank you very much.